Already this month, Virgin Voyages has been all over the news, but along with the headline news, there's been some more subtle changes that actually make a big difference when you head on board. Well, in today's Virgin Voyages Insider Update, I'm going to walk you through everything that's changed. If we haven't met before, my name is David from VV Insider, which is a website all about Virgin Voyages and absolutely nothing else. We cover everything from all the latest news and updates, but also the real logistic things you need to know when you're sailing, including all of the bar and restaurant menus, exactly what your cabin's going to be like when you step on board, and all of the events and entertainment that you're going to be looking forward to as well. Every year, we get millions of users on our website using our tools and content to plan the perfect Virgin voyage. And in this update, there is tons to go through, including a very exciting announcement of the headliners of the Solar Eclipse Voyages. We're also taking a look at a big award that Virgin Voyages has just won from a very prestigious publication and what this might mean for the fleet. We've also got more of a glimpse and more announcements about what's coming in 2028 when it comes to itineraries, including a bit of speculation about what might be happening in Europe with Valiant Lady. I'm going to tell you about some of the hard work that we've been doing on our website to introduce a brand new planning tool. I'm really excited to show you all the work that's went into that. Then we're going to touch on some huge news that you might have seen from international publications this week, which is all about the cancellation of a few port stops for one of Scarlet Lady's very special voyages. Then finally, the announcement of Brilliant Lady's Happenings Cast number 3, who are going to be taking to the Alaskan seas from the 16th of July. So just like always, there's so much to cover, so let's jump right in. So the first piece of news is all about the two very special Eclipse cruises that are going ahead in August this year. In just a few weeks' time, two of the Virgin Voyages lady ships will be making their way to the path of totality for this year's solar eclipse. And this week we've had the announcement of the very special guests that will be joining sailors on board these two very special voyages. As you can see from our article here, we've got information about who will be joining the specific voyages. This is for both the Iceland and British Isles cruise and as well the Barcelona and Rome Solar Eclipse Voyage 2. If you're heading on those voyages and you'd like to learn more about the guest speakers that are specific to your voyage, then head over to our article on vvinsider.com. But there are 3 guest speakers that will be appearing on both of these voyages. First off, we have astrobiologist Alyssa Carson. Then we have the cosmic and astrophotographer Andrew McCarthy. But also joining these voyages is a very familiar name to us here in Britain, and that's Dara O'Brien. Many of us will know Dara O'Brien as a very famous TV personality and comedian, but he's also got a past as a physicist as well. So I'm sure sailors that head into that particular talk will not only get that physics talk that they're looking for, but also a laugh or two as well. If the idea of catching the total solar eclipse on board Virgin Voyages sounds like a good idea to you, then we have all of the latest availability and pricing available at vvinsider.com/book. But if you can't make 2026 work, there's also opportunities for solar voyages in 2027 as well. Just a few days ago, Virgin Voyages got the news that they had been awarded the world's best megaship from Travel and Leisure magazine for the 4th year running. This is an incredibly prestigious award in the world of cruising, and importantly, this is something that's awarded based on readers' votes. And for Virgin Voyages to pull ahead and win this for the 4th time in a row is quite an achievement if you think about the size of the brand. There are brands out there like Celebrity and Royal Caribbean that have many more ships and many more passengers. But in the end, awards like this that are voted on by the public really show how much the Virgin Voyages brand resonates and makes them want to support the brand in this way. It's of course Virgin Voyages' responsibility now to make sure that they keep impressing the sailors, and I suppose we're seeing this with the continued investment in the dry docks that we're seeing. The Valiant Lady dry dock that happened just a few weeks ago is really a testament to how much energy and investment they're still putting into these fantastic ships. So congratulations Virgin Voyages on that. Just a few days ago, we got more of a glimpse of what to expect when it comes to the itineraries in 2028. This is a really huge update with loads of itineraries announced. So Scarlet Lady in 2028 is going to be in the Mediterranean, kicking off with a transatlantic from San Juan on April the 22nd. She'll then be doing those incredible Greek and Adriatic itineraries that we love so much here at VV Insider. We've been on many of them in the past, and these are absolutely incredible sailings. There's a good mixture of 7 and 8 night voyages, but also there's a couple that are 10 and 11 nights long if you fancy a longer trip. These dates head all the way up to October 15th, 2028, so there's plenty opportunity. If the Western Mediterranean is more your vibe, so you prefer Spain and Italy and France instead, then Valiant Lady is going to be your ship of choice. She's kicking off her transatlantic from Miami on April 16, 2028. Then there's a great lineup of mostly 7-night voyages circling the Western Mediterranean. But what's really interesting about Valiant Lady's schedule is that there's a massive gap between July and September where nobody knows where she's going to head. What I will say is if you subscribe to our channel, we'll be the first people to let you know as soon as we've confirmed things with our sources. We're in talks with them right now. And from what we believe so far, there's something very exciting in the works. All of these new sailings, apart from that gap that I mentioned, will be on sale on July 23rd. If you're making plans for 2028 and you don't want to miss out, make sure you head over to our article on vvinsider.com and register your interest in those sailings if you want to head on them. We've already seen a huge slew of sailors signing up for these voyages. Those popular suites, including the Mega Rockstars and the Rockstar categories, are going to go very fast indeed. So make sure you're signed up so you don't miss out. Now, as all this news has been filtering down, we've been very busy indeed here at VV Insider, but there's something that I've personally been working on, which I think is one of the most exciting things that we've added to the website in quite some time. And this comes personally from a little bugbear of mine, where if you were trying to find deck plans for Virgin Voyages ships, the only option that you had were PDF deck plans where you zoomed in with your fingers and lost where you were going, and it's never been a very nice experience. Well, I've been working really hard and putting together a brand new tool. So I've been coding this into the website and I think it's looking really good, but I would love to get your opinion on it. So I'm going to show you where it is if you're hunting around for it. So if you're on the main VV Insider website, just scroll down to where it says ships and deck plans. If you click on that, you'll then get a page. If you just scroll down and click on view deck plans, this big red button, you can't miss it. And then from there, you can choose the ship that you're sailing on. So for this example, I'm just going to choose Scarlet Lady. So I'm going to say view main deck plans. And then here we are. This is our brand new deck plan tool. And it works a little bit like Google Maps, where you can zoom in to the deck plan. You can choose which deck that you want to be on. You can click there. But the great thing about this is not only is it easier to zoom around and use, but you can actually click on every single cabin and every single venue to learn more about it. So let's say, for example, let's click on a cabin, let's say 12310Z. And as you can see, we're showing you the picture that one of our sailors has submitted for this particular cabin. And you can see that this has 2 good points noted and no bad points noted. Now, if you want to learn more information, you simply just click on full cabin details. And once that loads up, you'll get the cabin page from our cabin lookup tool that you might already be quite familiar with. But the great thing here is that I've coded this tool so that it shows you exactly where that cabin is from the cabin lookup tool as well. So if you scroll down on the cabin lookup tool, you'll see exactly where that cabin is on the ship. This is really useful if you want to see how close you are to particular venues. So for example, if I choose a cabin on deck 8, let's choose this one for example, and into the page we go. And if I scroll down, this one of course is only 1 deck away from deck 7 where activities take place. So I can just click on deck 7. And as you can see, this cabin is fairly close to the red room. And if I scroll up, you can see we've already noted this as a close to noisy operations cabin. If you'd still prefer the old-fashioned PDFs and you'd like to save it and share it with your friends, you can simply head over to the download PDF deck plans link right there. If you want to do that, I'll send you an instant email with an attachment with those PDFs on if you'd like to share them. So whichever way works for you the best. But as you can see, this is just one of the ways that we spend time making sure we make planning for your Virgin Voyage as easy as possible. Even if it does take multiple weeks and thousands of lines of code, we're going to get you there. If you're thankful for things like that and you'd like to support the work that we do, including building these tools for everyone to use for free, well, the best way to support us is to book your next Virgin Voyage using the tools that we have at vvinsider.com/book. This is our dedicated booking portal where we can show you voyages where you can get extra sailor loot for no extra charge. And it also means this is where if you book through us, we'll also be connected with your booking so we can answer any questions about Virgin Voyages that you have. And we can also be your advocate for you if you're wanting to make any changes or have any questions that need to go to Sailor Services. Rather than having to wait on hold, we can normally answer those questions for you or make those changes for you. So if you want to change your cabin or if you want to change the names on your booking, we can do that for you instead of you having to do it yourself. There are tons of reasons why booking through VV Insider is better than booking direct. But many of those that book through us simply do it to support the work that we do, including making these videos, but also building those tools on the website as well. So if you'd like to join that club, just make sure you talk to us before you book your next voyage. Now, some unfortunate news, which you may have heard from elsewhere, because this is something that really hit the headlines around the world, including news articles from USA Today and CNN. And this is with the unfortunate decision of the Turkish authorities turning away Scarlet Lady because she was hosting an Atlantis cruise, which is an LGBT plus charter cruise. This happened just 2 days before the cruise was due to take place. And the CEO of Atlantis Events, Rich Campbell, has said that in the 36 years of this brand's operation, this is the first time that a destination has refused entry for this voyage. Many of those outside of the cruise news space learned about this because Patti LuPone, who is due to perform on the voyage, sent out a defiant message on social media saying that she was shocked and furious because of this decision, saying she was definitely going ahead and performing for the wonderful men on board this Atlantis cruise. The Turkish authorities claimed that this type of voyage was known for behaviours incompatible with the fabric of society and our moral values. But it's worth noting that Atlantis cruises have been going to Turkey with no incident in the past. While it's not expected that this will affect Virgin Voyages standard itineraries that are not part of a charter, we are still going to be paying close attention to the news around this, because if there are any changes to itineraries in the future, we'll try and make sure that everyone knows about it first. So if you want to stay on top of this information, make sure that you subscribe to our channel for more. Well, this situation obviously prompted a change to the itinerary, so the decision was made that they were heading to Alexandria in Egypt instead. But unfortunately, when the ship tried to enter the Egyptian waters, they were also denied entry, this time mere hours before they were due to reach the port. The news broke about this fresh denial just about a day ago, so we're still learning more about this. But if you want to keep on top of that information, make sure you head over to our website at vvinsider.com to learn more about that. Well, in some more welcome and some happier news, the new Happenings cast for Brilliant Lady has just been announced. The Happenings cast on board the Virgin Voyages ships turn over roughly every 6 months, so sailors expect to see a brand new host of faces joining the ship. Well, here at VV Insider, we're well known for breaking the news on the new cast and showing you who is going to be running the events and activities on board the ship when you head on. So from the 16th of July, Brilliant Lady's second Happenings cast will be leaving and being replaced with a cast of some new faces, but also some very familiar faces as well, which many sailors will be excited to see. So first of all, we have the Voyage hosts. And stepping into those two very famous pairs of iconic heels, this starts off with the hostess. And this time the hostess is a very familiar face indeed. And it's Michi the hostess is back again for Happenings cast number 3 on Brilliant Lady. And Michi is no stranger at all to Brilliant Lady. She actually joined towards the end of Happenings cast number 1 and also kicked off Happenings cast number 2 as well. Well, she's back with Happenings cast number 3, so I think it's safe to say that Michi is the very first hostess to be in 3 consecutive Happenings casts. Michi is an incredibly popular hostess and I think she's just brilliant. I can't wait to see her when we head into Alaska in July. Joining Michi is a new face to Virgin Voyages, but certainly if you're a fan of drag in Denver, she's no stranger to you, and this is Roxanne Stoned. Roxanne is already a very renowned drag queen in her hometown of Denver, and I have it on very good authority from Dixie Crystals herself that she's going to be absolutely incredible on board. So again, very much looking forward to seeing Roxanne as she takes over the headline drag show on Brilliant Lady, which is The Diva Goes West, as well as other incredible things like Bingo with the Diva and many more. Now over to the aficionados. First of all, stepping in as the gamer, we have Aza, who is brand new to Virgin Voyages. New also to the brand is Jojo the Charmer. For those that love those creative activities, we have a very familiar face to the brand, and this is Verena the artist. Verena is an absolute icon in the world of Virgin Voyages, and if you've sailed on board in the past on any of the other 3 ships, you may well have seen or been along to one of Verena's events. Next up, taking on the foodie role is actually another familiar face to Virgin Voyages. This time, Mecca the foodie actually comes back to Virgin Voyages as part of the Happenings cast, having previously been one of the stars of the Misbehave show. If you haven't seen the Misbehave show before, it's a huge amount of fun. It's one of the headline shows that's in the Red Room. Well, Mecca used to be one of the 2 stars of that show, and now she's coming back to the brand as the foodie. And another familiar face and another returner is Stephen the Balancer. The Balancer role is all about those active and fitness type events, and Stephen has been a very popular balancer indeed on the other ships, so it's great to see him in the lineup now for Brilliant Lady. Now over to the influencers and dancers, we have Gregory the Spark, who's brand new to Virgin Voyages. Gregory is actually a very gifted fire breather, and we've linked to his Instagram over on our article at bbinsider.com if you want to see him in action with his fire breathing skills. Another very popular returner is Maya the Glow. We sailed with Maya last year, so it's great to see her as part of this lineup for the new Brilliant Happenings cast. Returning to Brilliant Lady, because they were part of the first Happenings cast of Brilliant Lady, is both Darissa the Flare and Lewis the Hype. Both of these folks were part of the iconic inaugural cast of Brilliant Lady, the ones that were there for the epic launch party that happened in New York City in September last year. Then last but certainly not least is another fan favourite, and that's Andre the Bounce. Andre is an incredibly popular part of the Happenings cast, so it's great again to see him on this lineup for Brilliant Lady Cast 3. It's really lovely to see a great mix of new and familiar faces in this cast, but remember, Brilliant Lady is in Alaska at the moment, so the Happenings cast events are actually slightly different to what they normally would be on Brilliant Lady, because we have those Alaska themed Happenings events. Well, we are heading on board one of those Alaska trips towards the end of this month, so we're looking forward to seeing all of those brand new Happenings events that have been set up specifically for Alaska. It'll also be a really good chance for us to see the new Happenings cast in action, so we can't wait to meet them all. Like I mentioned earlier, this new cast will be on board from the 16th of July onwards, and if you've got a voyage booked between then and the 4th of February, you can expect to see them on board Brilliant Lady. If you want to read more about them and also have a look at their Instagram profiles before you head on board, make sure you go to our website and just search for Happenings Cast, where you'll not only be able to read about the new Brilliant Lady Happenings Cast, but you can meet the Happenings Cast for any ship that you're sailing on. Just last week, we put out a video telling you the 6 insider tips on what to do before you head on board Virgin Voyages, and that video has had a great response, with tons of first-time sailors saying it's exactly what they needed to know. If you're looking for more tips, videos and guides like that, then make sure that you have a look at our channel, but also stay subscribed to our channel so we show up in little notifications so you don't miss a thing before you head on board your next voyage. I also want to say a massive thank you to those who've decided to support our channel by becoming a YouTube member. We're actually in the process of releasing a hidden series of videos explaining all those insider tips and secrets that we can't say publicly on the channel, but we want to let our little insider group know about. Our supporters also get access to videos like this a little earlier than everyone else as well, but in general, it's just a nice community of those that really love Virgin Voyages and like to talk about all those little niche elements of it. Well, again, thank you so much, all of you who already have pledged your support to us by becoming a YouTube member. But if you're looking at options to support us, I've put a link right here if you want to read more about it. I'll be back next week with a brand new video with some very special Virgin Voyages hints and tips. But until I see you next time, happy sailing.